All right, welcome back. We are here with the developer update, and this time we don't have Jason. We have Ostre. Ostre, welcome back to the studio, home studio. How are you doing?
Pretty great. It's good to be back. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we are here to talk about update 7.2. We're just before the finals of Open number 3. And 7.2 is coming on Tuesday, and I think we talked a little bit about it with Jason because there is a big overhaul coming to existing leader abilities. And like we mentioned last time, I think it was high time to overhaul and rework some of these abilities and create some new ones in place also, because the old ones did not really fit to where we want to take Gwent in the future. So it was high time to work on them. So the total number of abilities still is the same. When it comes to your contracts, they have been changed. But if you have been, for example, completing some of this and kind of were in the middle, the ones that got reworked, they have new names, and those which were scrapped and were replaced with new ones. So the new ones will take place of the old ones. So they're just being retired, but you're not losing anything.
Yeah, the progress is still there.
Exactly.
Very quiet.
From an ability-specific contract completion, like I said, everything is the same. And we'll be going over them one by one once we go in the same format that we always do. So we'll be going faction by faction. And first, I think we'll start with the leader abilities. Then we'll talk about some of the changes. Of course, we'll only highlight some of them. Full patch notes will be available most likely on Tuesday. I don't think we'll get them in time to have them a day earlier. But we will see about that. Yet,
just the ghost of Gwent's past.
That is that for the kind of general introduction. I also want to touch upon the things that are considered general changes here. So we have small tweaks, like when you return to the play menu after the match you last played. So the last played game mode will remain selected. So this is for players who are complaining that
finally,
they were queuing into ranks with their crazy seasonal deck, and so you won't have this problem anymore. That's one thing.
Yep. First time seeing it.
There were some bugs related to progressing in contracts, and these were connected with Journey 1 and 2. So yeah. For example, there was not every series outfit was counting towards the progression, so this has been fixed. And then we fixed also a small problem that recently kind of surfaced was the issue of acceptance of pro rank regulations in game setting. Now it's no longer needed to change any other settings in order to save your selection.
What is that a logo for?
And accept pro rank regulations.
Is that like the Dragon Ball logo?
The last one was fixed issue with sometimes missing description of abilities when creating a new deck. So sometimes when you were trying to create a new deck, you were choosing the leader ability and the description was gone. So that
it is Dragon Ball?
Fixed.
That's really funny.
Okay, so
that's so
going
funny.
Back to the leader abilities, because this is the main focus that we'll put for this update.
Blurred? It's a brand they don't want to show on this stream.
Of the abilities not working as intended in some way. Ostre, what's your take on why we introduced the changes and why we want to swap things here?
Oh, I think I can talk a lot about this subject. But to keep it short, of course, we focused at the leaders that's playing additional cards in a turn. Yes, that was the biggest problem, let's say, from our perspective. And when we introduced those leaders in the beginning, card pool was much smaller, than after 5 expansions. So they were not giving you so many options. As we were adding cards to the game, those leaders were just getting better and better because options they were providing to you were increasing. Yes. Mm-hmm. So after some time, they just started to dominate the meta. Why you would pick leader who do X when you can take leader that plays card and that card do X, and then he can play many other cards that will just do more things. So they were more versatile. They were providing you more options. Their power level was usually higher than normal leaders because
they do. It's Austria,
additional card in turn, but not only that, because the options that what they were providing to you. Yes.
Yeah.
But as I said, we mostly focus on those leaders, but we changed some more of them. So not only play one card, and some leaders just didn't age well. Like we're doing a lot of balance changes, so their abilities were kind of outdated. The archetypes that, for example, they were supporting disappeared from the game.
Yeah.
And also we wanted to support some, let's say, new and existing archetypes that are missing support.
Yeah, he's one of the game designers.
Yeah, and also there were some restrictions when it comes to like future cards or mechanics that you want to introduce. Like these abilities would stop this from happening. Yes. Yeah.
For example, Death Shadow, first thing that's coming to my mind, like with Death Wish. Every time we design a Death Wish card, of course, the strong legendary card with high provision cost, we need to take into consideration, okay, what will happen if I will trigger it with, twice?
Yeah.
Because Death Shadow is there, yes. So that's also true.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, do you want to jump into the changes, maybe? So I will jump in actually to the game, and we'll start with neutrals.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yep, first time seeing the notes.
All right, so we're here in Deck Builder. One ability to start off with is actually White Frost. We changed the name to Blizzard.
Where's echoing?
I don't know if we have to highlight that, but yeah.
This is kind of spoiler because White Frost is now used.
Oh, just to strip the name. Okay.
Yeah, actually a good spoiler here. But before we get to that, we also have a change with Serey ability. So we're talking about the standard Serey. Her ability is deploy, damage 3 enemy units by 1. Whenever you lose a round, return the unit to your hand.
Yeah, so ability is slightly better now, yes, because you have control over those.
Oh, targets now.
Yeah.
So there won't be you won't be losing points because of random armor ping or something like that. And also, to people wondering why it's 3 damage by 1, it's connected with her art. We wanted to give her additional points, and we thought how to do this in a more interesting way. And one of the designers came up with the idea that, hey, she's fighting with 3 wolves, so let's do 3 targets.
Yeah, like you said, it totally fits her art. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. We have Ethereal as the next one. You want to jump into that one?
Oh yeah, that's a pretty interesting.
Change to this one.
Many people were complaining about Ethereal, and of course,
so 4 damage just answers it now. Okay.
We wanted to change the card, but we don't want it to kill it. So the provision cost.
So the thing that made it good.
So. 1 provision.
I mean, this is a fine change.
Is changed to deploy gain zeal, order transform unit to the right.
They put its provision back down to 8 too.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it doesn't like solo carry the faction anymore, but
now
it's
you can find
still a respectable card for sure.
You need to answer both of them, or they will get out of control, and then you have so many.
Zeal won't help. Well, now 4 damage turns it off, right?
If you lock or destroy the one with the order,
because the order doesn't refresh.
Yeah.
So you click the ethereal.
Yeah, I think this is.
You play effectively 7 for 8.
Like reworks because
in tempo. So it gets sol value, but it's an order instead of an end of turn. So it's sol value, but doesn't trigger when you pass.
OP, but still is quite strong.
And you got to work a little bit harder for it.
We tried, we don't want it to kill it because it could be done easily.
Notably, doesn't die to tall removal. Instead, gets hit by wide removal, dies to 4 damage. Doesn't protect itself in that sense either.
Trying to find a solution that will balance the card and still make it playable because it's quite fun.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, next up, I think we have some power and provision changes. So I won't be showing these cards one by one, but actually I will cover these changes. So in Aeromancy, there's a provision change.
I mean, Ethereal still trades up 3 points to Joust.
We have Watchman power change from 4 to 5, and Highwayman power change from 3 to 4. And Iron Falcon Knife Juggler power change from 1 to 2.
So some of the bandits got buffed.
Neutrals,
the Highwayman change is sort of interesting.
Yes, that's true. Because we were going through neutrals section.
Yeah.
An expensive Kiki Warrior. Yeah, with Zeal.
Exactly.
It plays for 7 tempo instead of 3 tempo.
Move on to monsters, and we should
also gets more points per transform than Kiki Warrior.
And I will start with Carpus for sure. That's the first one. So Oster, take it away.
Yes. So it's a good example of what I was saying in the beginning, that we looked at more leaders, not only those play 1 cards.
One provision's
we
kind
didn't
of
manage
whatever.
to change all the leaders we wanted. Some of the... It's probably good moment to tell it now, because some leaders that we would like to change are still there. And you can expect
Lock
more changes
stopped
in
ethereal. Nah, because you could consume the locked ethereal and then keep going.
back to
Now if you
monsters.
lock the ethereal,
So
you can't just consume it and turn it back on.
Boost by 3, and it's giving Veil, and has 3 charges.
Basically, they made it a really hard to answer engine, which was kind of the whole strength of the card, into a very easy to answer engine.
Yes, you're right.
That is worth similar numbers of points.
So the shield is gone. It was quite redundant, we can say. Because if it goes to unit, it's
Veil,
high.
charge 3.
It's already protected from the damage. It doesn't need shield.
Whoa, wait.
I think Veil will be much better
like a more
in this
brand.
case to protect your engines and
gets 9 points, 15
and
prop.
preventing your opponent from locking them, or even protecting your high units from the poison.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
Carapax should
yeah, really good against poison decks for sure.
Players quite happy, I think.
I agree for sure. So that's the first one. Moving on, next we have Force of Nature.
Force of Nature, yes. Order, spawn, and play Woodland Spirit.
So this triggers Thrive because you play it.
Changed from 16 to 15. And Woodland Spirit is a 9-power relic.
Definitely boring.
I know a lot of people... Yes, that's true. Like all the tokens.
Yeah.
And I know probably now a lot of people are wondering...
Definitely boring, yeah.
Rules,
weird that it's 9
like
base.
And sure, we considered that, but... That would support nothing in monsters. Yes, that would be nostalgia, okay.
I feel like most leaders...
Like
both Carapace and Force of Nature were 9 base.
There is no archetype around it, and we don't want it to change Force of Nature. Force of Nature was about the Thrive archetype. So we just wonder how to make it better.
Most leaders like this are usually 8 base.
Putting, everything on this one unit, making it super...
Yeah, I mean, it triggers
super
Thrive.
big, so whenever it's removed, you pretty much lose the game. We split it into separate body of Woodland Spirit. So you're not only risking, all those points in one unit, he's also...
the old ability arguably better?
So,
no.
Exactly.
Now you can proc your Thrives 2 times.
This is an extra point, doesn't play into tall removal, triggers your Thrives.
Much better.
Totally agreed here, and the cool thing is that
gets you dominance if that matters.
Cards that were associated with the leaders coming back.
One
so
did
these
too.
are cards that were requested by players to actually
just kind of boring. I don't know.
Different form. So they are actually coming back. And
but it does a couple of different things.
It's really, really cool because I know a lot of players really like the arts of these, let's say, important and strong characters, so they're making a nice kind
boring
of
ability replaces boring
and
ability. Yeah, it doesn't feel too bad, so we're just losing.
As you see,
I mean, we lose hand buff
It's
monsters.
pretty cool, and
The deck wasn't good, but the deck was funny.
Which is awesome.
That's true. So please don't expect that every leader will spawn itself again on the board, but...
I'm just not sure what funny things this enables.
Because the Woodland Spirit is not the last one.
Find it weird how Gurney isn't a basic. I mean, you gotta remember to click the Gurney. You players can't remember to click the Gurney.
With Death Shadow's leader ability, so it's no longer in the game. Any comments on that?
As I was mentioning
scale. How good is it in arena? It's probably worse than like Vicious Slash and.
It's not play card, but
Blood Money.
Quite close to. It's limiting design space. It's the
probably worse than like Moorbrand.
And we really
worse than Aridum.
I
think you'd rather have something that either protects engines or kills engines.
Have your win condition 2 times.
Yeah, agreed here.
Slash is good in arena.
Even if the shadow was not the problem now, it was close.
Oh, does Slash no longer exist?
If we would add some more cards, it would be in the future, so we decided to rotate.
Yeah, but in its place, we have something called White Frost.
Move an enemy unit to the other row, spawn Frost on its row for 2 turns.
So what's up with White Frost?
So White Frost is order. Move an enemy unit.
It's another way to make Frost. Feels like we already have a lot of those, but the movement's sort of nice. This does sort of shore up a weakness for Frost.
Also support some, let's say, new or unsupported archetypes. In this case, it's White Frost. So Wild Hunt players should be happy.
Is it better than just playing Overwhelming Hunger with your Death Wishes?
Winter Queen without any additional cards. Yeah,
probably not.
Cast Frost in both rows and she will come out.
Yeah, totally agreed. Yeah, I really like this ability, and I think for all those players who really like the White Frost archetype, so spawning as much Frost as possible and using all the cards kind of...
yeah, I feel like Frost needs more Frost payoffs rather than ways to apply Frost.
And all that stuff. So this is kind of an ability that will be cool for them. And I can totally see this being played with
I don't hate it
as a leader to have the full flavor, let's say. So yeah, I really like this ability, and I think it's a really, really cool design here.
And it kind of brings this old feeling of White Hunt that some people can remember.
Yeah.
So moving to the other row and spawning Frost.
Exactly. And that is it for monsters when it comes to abilities.
Payoff, kind of. Movement's a way to get value out of the Frost. It's not something that multiplies the value of your Frost.
One card for sure, because there were a couple of changes here. I'm talking about Oberon. So Invader and Conqueror power change from 6 to 5, and provision change from 11 to 12 for the card. Yes. What's the idea?
Oh, they double nerfed Oberon. Oh.
We decided to
why?
Make all of evolving cards a bit weaker, because we noticed their play rate is so
I get
high.
like a single nerf on it. I thought it was like
so good that people were just playing them.
This feels like the kind of thing that was going to happen eventually. I'm surprised it's happening now and not like after the next expansion.
No, they were more like mid-range cards.
These cards were super pushed.
Combo.
But that seemed intentional, and that they wanted the evolving cards to have a high play rate during this expansion, because they were like the keystone cards of the expansion. They wanted everyone to be hyped about them.
Coming up. When it comes to other changes that I have on the list,
surprised to see a double nerf here.
Quickly, because they're mainly power and provision changes. So after that we have Alpha Werewolf, so power change.
I could see the provision nerf. That seems fair.
Power change from 2 to 3. And then Karantir on
now there are Greeks who are playing evolving cards in all decks. There's no way they didn't know that was going to happen. They were so pushed. That was intentional.
Hunt Rider here becoming a little bit stronger, which is good news. Same with also for Karantir, the provision is going up, so that's for.
I skipped all card changes. Did I really? Are they just like glossing over them all?
I think it's a really, really cool design here. Exactly. And that is it for monsters when it comes to abilities. I think we want to also highlight one card for sure, because there were a couple of changes here. I'm talking about Oberon. So Invader and Conqueror power change from 6 to 5, and provision change from 11 to 12 for the card.
So I guess we gotta like pause as we go.
What's the idea here?
Can I use the arrow keys to...
those cards were so good that people were just playing them for the points in most decks, even without synergies.
They still talking about Oberon?
Yeah.
No, they were more like mid-range cards than those combo-oriented cards.
Yeah.
So all of evolving cards were slightly nerfed.
They had to know that was going to happen.
Coming up. When it comes to other changes that I have on the list, I will go through them quickly because they're mainly power and provision changes. So after that we have Alpha Werewolf, so power change from 5 to 6.
So Alpha Werewolf is now a 6/6 immune with Thrive. Does that impact the Thrive curve at all? There weren't any 5-point Thrives, right? It still doesn't proc like Katakan.
Arcas Behemoth, power change from 2 to 3, and then Karantir on Fenial, provision change from 8 to 9.
Why?
Wild Hunt Rider, power change from 3 to 4, so we actually see Wild Hunt
Rider's getting
becoming a little bit stronger,
buff.
which is good news. Same with...
Makes it easier to pull, too.
Also for Karantir, the provision is going up, so that's for the Wild Hunt archetype. And then we have Foglet.
Yeah, I know of the
3 to 4, so Foglet also... being a little
also
bit
getting
stronger.
Corinthia is definitely not a dead card.
Any other things?
Corinthia is the kind of card, if you're playing a deck where Corinthia is good, you'll play it sort of regardless of what its cost is.
I don't think so. I just hope people will like...
It's just a question of, are there cards that are good with Corinthia now? And the answer
Okay.
might be no.
So Skellige is
but
next,
in the future, it could definitely still be good.
We will keep with the theme of going through the leader abilities first. I'll start with the ones that got rotated out. So one is Sacrificial Vanguard. So that
I heard the Foglet buff. Both Foglet and Riders get a point.
And then Second Wind was the second one that also was rotated out. And in its place, we have something called Battle Trance as the first one. And
Marjorie, whenever you play an
Battle
alchemy card, heal.
So Battle Trance abilities.
Why?
Whenever you play an alchemy card, heal a random allied unit by 1.
Oh no.
So should we also go to the second one and then talk about all of them, you think?
What?
We can totally do that. So we'll move on.
Wait, no, why? What? How do you get value out of this? No, you can't heal full health cards. So you have to have things damaged. Blue Boy? Are you playing Blue Boy outside of Ursine Ritual? Self-wound? There's other ways to reset all your self-wound cards. There's better things to self-wound. How many alchemies do you even play? It's not that many. It's like a worse Arrakis Swarm. Yeah, like it's sort of a parallel. Marjo on a one-shot isn't the worst thing ever. I mean, it's not the best thing ever, but it's not the worst thing ever. Tershak Veteran? Why do you want to work that hard to get your 8? The whole point of Tershak Veteran is you reset it by damaging it, not by healing it. Marjo's 12 on Turtle. Yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. What is Ursine Ritual on Turtle? Isn't that better? Isn't that way better? Just ignore the heal. If you could get value from it, you don't build around it. So you're playing this as a one-shot Marjo? With like some incidental heal? I don't get it. I don't know what this is for. At least with Mahakam Forge, it made sense, right? Mahakam Forge gives 1 random armor to everything. This makes Berserker better. This keeps your Dwarf Resilience units alive. Yarpen was a card, so Yarpen got a little bit of an extra boost. The whole flavor behind Dwarfs was for making your opponent's damage worse, keeping your stuff alive so you can play Mahakam guards. Like, even if Mahakam Forge isn't, make a good Dwarf deck, it made sense. The reasoning behind why Mahakam Forge did what it did worked. I don't understand Battle Trance. I mean, my first impression is that it's bad. I don't know if it's bad or I'm missing something. Get a heal payoff one day? Yeah, there's none of that, right? Like, the same reason why Flaminica doesn't see any play. You just don't care enough about healing your things, because there's other ways to get value out of self-wound. We need to try it out. But what do you try it out with? What's the appeal of this over playing Ritual? Yuta? Do you really want to play a Yuta and then play some alchemies to heal it? Oh, are you just like using the Mardro to play the Yuta? There was no reason to delete the discard leader? There was. There's bad incentives. They don't want people to think that discard is going to be an archetype or that discard should be built like an archetype. The discard leader was providing mixed signals. Mother Getty, because it plays an alchemy card that's synergy with Girl Mother. 12 on Turtle plus a random 3 or 4 points passive. Yeah, but you could just play, like, if you really wanted to go that route with Turtle, you could just play Ritual and then also have Ritual for Saris. And even then, like, you can just play Blue Boy or Sign. Which makes more sense. And is more granular. This card is interesting. I don't disagree. Let's move on. It's bad. We all know it. What's the next leader?
Which is new is Rage of the Sea.
Yes, so order spawn rain on enemy row for 1 turn, and defending Siren on the opposite row.
It's a 9-point leader.
14 provision.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus.
Reckless Flurry still exists,
so
right?
Those are two new abilities.
Reckless Flurry still exists.
Oh
no, it's 11. Deafening Sirens are 2s.
Yeah. Skellige is mostly deal damage, deal damage, deal damage. Of course it works, but there are some...
So it's a 12-point leader.
Archetypes that could use some love. For example, Druids and Alchemy. There was not really good leader.
12-point base leader loses value on a lot. You don't have any control over rain aside from what row you place it on, so you're going to lose a bunch of points to armor.
Mm-hmm. Of course, some of them
lose points to things you don't want to damage.
Something that would support the archetype, and we came with idea of battle trance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not only strictly supporting, Druid and Alchemy. It's also work with Self-Wound, for example. Yes, it's mistake because whenever you play Alchemy card, you heal random unit by 1, so you can mix stuff here. We don't want.
Rage of the Sea makes more sense than Battle Trance does. It's
leader will tell you how to build your deck.
Yeah, I don't know. Another Greatsword leader. I don't know if anything wants it other than Greatsword.
Good ability, of course.
It's weird that it exists while Reckless Flurry exists.
It's only on wounded units, so you don't need to worry that unit that doesn't lost any power will be healed by 1.
Not sure if it's actually good, but at least the idea is like it keeps your Greatswords alive.
And going to the second one, Rage of the Sea.
Greatsword's completely different though.
Totally different.
Okay, I'm just gonna eat my words in a minute. Whatever.
As you see, we introduced second leader with the weather.
Siren seems a bit random. I think they wanted to staple more points onto it, but
Rage of the Sea, and not only weather because it's also spawned.
It just was a way to staple more points onto
Sirens
it.
Are beasts.
Yeah.
And
Sirens are
maybe
beasts.
Hinting something to people that.
You undoom them, please.
Beasts
maybe you should undoom them.
are something we want to explore in Skellige.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like people were asking for it for a long time. Of course, it won't happen now because we're not reworking.
They don't have doomed. They definitely have doomed.
For sure, expect
They just have the status on the card.
Support in the future expansions.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I really like these two new abilities.
If it said doomed, it would gain doomed when it was played. It would like trigger Thirsty Dame.
That's it. When it comes to the leader ability.
This way, it doesn't trigger Thirsty Dame.
Changes. When it comes to other cards, I have Holger black hand, there's actually a change here.
I think that's how it works.
So
I don't know. Maybe that's not how it works with Doom. That's how it works with most statuses.
Yeah, I can jump really quick. So Holger gained deploy, damage it by 2, so he now gets 2 more points. He's damaging, you know. If it's Skellige, I think the card will be much better now. Of course, the same as the range with the sea, we're not. It's only a balance patch. We're not adding new cards to support ships and pirate archetype, yes, but
pirates and boats are back.
But cards should be much better, and this is also the thing we want.
So that means you actually target for rain to hit. The siren comes into play on your side, not your opponent's side.
So that is that. Then we have another reworked ability. We have Rockfire Hunter.
So pretty much the same, but works with beasts now. Yes, whenever you play a beast, the cooldown is reduced by 1.
Exactly.
Well, as I was mentioning with the Rage of the Sea, that beasts.
Whatever. Sure, we get another one of these cards.
Some more love and.
They're just changing it from this card, right?
And then one that was actually an interesting change for me was Angry Greatswords. So
okay, this is a cute way of capping Greatsword. I sort of like this.
We also have ability change. So what's the ability now?
I've said in the past that like caps are kind of a boring way to balance cards like this. This is a creative enough way of capping it.
I was really impressed when I saw the proposition, and we were like, "Yes, this is cool. We need to do this. You know, this fits Skellige perfectly, and this makes card
comes in as a 5 too.
It's fine, balanced, yeah. It's in its place. So right now it's deploy, damage self by 5. Whenever an enemy takes damage, heal self by 1.
Still be uncapped if Cult is displayed next to it. Yeah, like you can work to get more value out of it.
Nice.
So it's 10, whenever you play it, it's 5, and then it works as the same as the old Greatsword.
I like it.
I like it. 10. Yeah, it will heal. And I think this card.
Yeah, it only heals back to 10.
Way, you know, it's damage. It deals damage to itself. It heals itself, and it's reacting to damage. Like pretty much everything you want.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I really like this ability. Then we have Harald, and I will actually
also no longer Rolocked. Oh, they removed the Rolock too.
Harald Uncrate, because it's another example of changes to the evolving cards.
Another problem there.
Correct. Yeah, so as I mentioned,
it's fine.
Received.
Greatsword's a bit of a silly card right now. We'll see how it plays like this. And if nobody plays it, then we can reevaluate later.
Yeah, Uncrate Warmonger and the Cripple. In this crate, I wanted to say. And then from other changes, we have Uncrate Brooder.
Suspect that it won't be worth playing.
Tursak, provision change from 11.
It's like not quite good enough to build your whole deck around, and probably not worth enough points to bother teching it.
11 to 12, that will be an interesting one. Beard Up Brand, power change from 5 to 6. And then the last one is Tursak Skirmisher, power change from 3 to 4.
Let's
change from 11 to 12, that will be an interesting one.
That's the Herald.
Beard Up Brand, power change from 5
it's just Burn and
6.
Skirmisher.
And then the last
so the discard package gets better,
from 3
though Brand no longer exists.
That's it. That's it for Skellige.
That's Skellige for you.
Yep.
That was not the Herald. God damn it.
Messenger, power change from 3 to 4. Blood Eagle, provision change from 11 to 12. That will be an interesting one.
Okay.
Beard Up Brand, power change from
Crow
5
Messenger.
to 6. And then the last
got a
one
P buff.
is Tursak Skirmisher, power change from 3 to 4.
So they're buffing all the thinning cards.
That's it for Skellige.
That's Skellige for you.
Yep. Alright, then we
Explains
move
the
on
battle
to
rage.
the Kingdom of the North. So the Northern
explains battle rage?
Realms. So here we have mobilization change. I think we should start with this one.
Okay, so mobilization is order, spawn a base copy of Bronze Allied Soldier on its row and boosted by 3. So we added 1 more point. We removed Zeal.
You could restore target too. Yeah, lots of cute things you can do with Greatsword.
We changed the ability so you don't need to play cards from the deck. You know, it was a bit limiting before because there was this bronze card and you have to keep it in your deck. When you wanted to bring the copy, it was sometimes
spawn.
Your mulligan was bad because of
I can't Royal Guard anymore. What is this bullshit?
Anything in deck. You just play it, you spawn a copy, boost it.
Yeah, exactly. Another change is Pincer Maneuver.
Oh yes, so
I mean, it gets you one more, but
Let
you'd
me-
rather just pincer, I think.
take a deep breath, for Pilsen maneuver change. So order, draw an Earthen Realm card of your choice, then shuffle a card from your hand back to your deck. If the drawn card was a unit, boosted by 5, and provisions 15.
Yeah.
So
So it doesn't get you an extra card anymore. It also doesn't play the card, but it puts 5 points on it. So it turns a card in your hand into an NR Royal Decree. Doesn't get AA. I mean, gets AA, but you lose the boosts. Is there anything similar to this right now? It's Natalis. True. Consistency plus 5 points better than uprising points. In Gwent, usually not, because decks are fairly consistent. Like, in exchange for getting to play 2 cards at once and getting an extra card, you get boost by 5. And a few more provisions. Is this beta Francesca? Sort of? The way leaders worked in beta was so different that it's hard to compare. Yeah, this is purely just upgrading quality and getting 5 points. Huh. Correct. You'll never miss your finisher. It's probably good. It's so weird. Yeah, mulliganing a card away is worth something. You have to, like, decouple this with the old pincer. Like, you can't think of them as similar. Because a lot of the strength of the old pincer was the combo potential. Saint Sabrina. Oh, man. I don't know.
we still wanted, like, the same as with
Yeah, it
Force
is
of
cool being
Nature,
able to
some
boost
other
your dual
abilities. We
unit.
wanted here to keep the spirit of the
Though notably, you
Pilsen
can't, like,
maneuver,
boost a
so
card in your hand. It has to be the drawn unit, so if you want to use it on
search for
Anses,
something from your
you have
deck.
to mulligan the Anses.
But this time we, of course, removed the play card aspect. So you fix your hand and you boost unit by 5, which I think opens a lot of interesting
Consistency
options.
with Operator Royal Guard now.
Or maybe I wanted. I wanted
That's
to mention specific cards,
true.
but maybe I won't.
I mean, I still can't Operator in round
Maybe
1
want
unless
to
I want to.
then
I guess I can just pincer round 1 now.
let people find out.
Leave it to the
Interesting.
players to figure it out. And then
It's not like I'm losing the card.
Vicious Slash,
I get to
which
keep the
is
carryover.
missing. It was rotated out, but in its place we have Shield Wall. And what's up with Shield Wall? This is a defensive ability, right?
Oh yes, and this is.
You can't draw
people will
Operator, yeah.
probably see old
But
Carapace
drawing
here.
Operator wasn't the hard
A lot
part.
of
It was
people
getting a
say
Royal Guard in your
the
hand.
shields should
Because
go
there was no
to
way to
more
tutor a card to your
convention
hand.
Time ago, and then we finally listened. So
this is a better Eridan. Significantly better Eridan. In NR. I guess less Provs. So if you go... So this puts Anna down as a 6 with a shield. Which lives through even Gigascorp. Yeah, it's good with Anse's. What does that cap out at? So you deal 6. What are you able to duel with 6 and the shield? 15? Is that at full value or just what you're able to kill? $12 is full value. 15 to kill. People are sleeping on Visigoda with this. It's certainly better than New Pincer with Visigoda. 5 and a shield. I don't know. Shielded Visigoda is definitely a lot worse than like a defendered Visigoda. Still gets moved, still gets locked. It's gonna depend how prevalent those effects are. Yeah, it still gets like heat waved. That's the thing, like shield doesn't protect from everything. This is worse at protecting engines than I think a lot of people might think. But it does remind me of like what made Full Test really scary back during DJ Full Test. Just that extra point making your Seltkirk and Anse duels bigger was huge. And this is like that on crack with the shield. Yeah, that's something that you lose out on in a lot of matchups. Like, a lot of matchups just don't give you something bigger than a 7 or an 8. The dream of getting this huge Anses comes up against, like, monsters and sometimes Skellige. Some weird games against NR. But, like, when people know it exists, they'll play differently against it, too. Syndicate 2. Against Syndicate, you can usually kill them early. It lets you, like, kill the engines later on, instead of having to play your Prince a little earlier. Lets you deal with, like, the Sea Jackal. I guess that comes up. So usually that's your Baron. Duel of 15 and survive as a 3. Yeah, but how many games are you going to get to Duel of 15? Especially when your opponent knows that it exists. Yep, you can duel all the defenders. Gives NR a much cleaner answer to defenders than they had previously. That's a big deal. This is better than Uprising. Maybe. Uprising's really fucking good. But this is definitely really good too. It's better by far. I don't know if I'd go that far. I think you might be like overestimating either how good this is at protecting engines or how relevant it is being able to kill like super tall things with Anses. It's good. I could see it being the best NR leader. I'm not like immediately certain that this is game breaking, like a lot of chat seems to be. Yeah, 3 charges is a big deal. 3 versus 2. does both. Yeah. At the opportunity cost of not getting Uprising. And Uprising is a significant long round tool for NR. Maybe part of it's just like people underestimating how strong Uprising is. That could be a thing. Like, this ability is definitely very good. It's definitely better than like all of the non-Uprising NR abilities. It might be better than Uprising. But like, Uprising's really good. Maybe it just solves enough problems for NR. I guess Uprising did get a little worse with the Visigood nerf too. Maybe that's relevant. I still haven't fully adjusted to that. Played games where my peasant's a 3-point soldier in round 3? No? I don't think I have ever had a game where peasant militia was less than 5. Which means my leader played for 8. And I've also had games where my leader played for like 20. Oh, we haven't gotten to Nilfgaard yet. Yeah, like, this leader's more relevant throughout the whole game than Uprising, which is cool. Uprising is a stronger finisher in general. That's the thing, the NR engines are already safe. Do you need something like Shield Wall, or do you just want to play Uprising? What covers your weaknesses better? Gives NR insane removal. It giving you an answer to defenders is pretty sick. Onsace usually kills a 4 or 5 point engine. Yeah, a lot of the time, there's going to be a lot of matchups where the shield wall value on Onsace isn't relevant. And you're just going to be using this to protect engines. And in a lot of those matchups, you're going to be protecting engines. Some of your engines are still going to die because you only have 3 charges. This feels like the kind of leader that's really easy to overvalue. But, I mean, if there's stuff that goes tall, and there are a lot of matchups where, like, the buff on the Onsace is a big deal, this leader could be a huge deal. Make full engines deck viable again? I mean, you only get 3 charges on Shield Wall. So you protect 3 engines. If you're playing more engines, your opponent still gets to kill engines. That's not really what this encourages, right? Unless, like, you're sticking Visigoth or Shani, I guess. Engines that protect your other engines. Like, really aggressively. Yeah, the synergy of Shield Wall with Onsace reminds me of, like, DJ Full Test. Full Test. It's nerf means Siege is officially dead. It just means one-turn sieges aren't happening. It's DJ Full Test again. There was a meta where the 2 best decks were Full Test and DJ. At the time, Full Test was Inspired Zeal, but it boosted by 2 instead of 1. It also was like 16 or 17 provision, something absurd. And it just gave so much reach on your removal with the Selkirk and Anses. But I mean, like, Uprising already gives Anses a lot of reach, so there is more of a cost to it. And it doesn't just outright make your Anses tall removal.
Order, boost an allied unit by 2 and give it shield. Charge 3, provisions 14.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a really strong ability, much stronger than we initially thought. It works not only with, of course, engines that Northern Realms as a faction has a lot. So it's kind of different approach, when you can boost your unit and give it shield instead boosting.
Yeah, there are a bunch of other
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of other
Also
nonsense going on in that R2.
Shield archetype, I think, a bit. Especially if you keep it as a finisher with King Ragnar.
Yeah.
Which can give you a lot of points.
Stockpile is still the same.
So I expect actually this one to be maybe even the strongest new ability we're introducing.
Nice.
Time will show.
Yeah. I know you guys were testing this extensively with the whole team. So
Battle Trance, definitely better
you
than
probably
Battle
have an
Trance.
idea of what is.
There's a dev that just really likes demo events.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Of course, that's true. But usually.
I don't think we've seen the SD ones yet.
To show us that we were wrong. they really like to do this.
Yeah, true. So that's for
a lot of them are leaders they just don't want to have in the game.
Or changes of leader abilities. Moving on.
Like some of these reworks were leaders that they saw as problematic.
To Siege Master. And let me pull that card up. Where is he? Because we have a lot of siege support, siege ladder, mantle. Where's Master? There he is. So we have the ability change too here, and we also have power change. So if you can go over those.
So power changed from 3 to 4.
I keep changing all of these to orders. It's weird.
By 2. And
we're like
resupply stayed the same, so it's just pretty much one more power and the deploy was changed to order.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's not the only card we applied changes like that to. I think
they're changing. Yeah, they're changing a bunch of these because they're not being played at 5, right? So I guess they're experimenting.
Change, and then we have Rivian Pikeman. There we go. And there's also a small change here.
Oh, they did it here too.
Yes, it's the same treatment. Yes, one more power and order instead deploy.
Yeah. So those are the two units which got changes. Apart from that, I won't be showing these. It's just a quick one. Field medic power change from 1 to 2, and then banner provision change from 5 to 4. And Blue Stripes Commando provision change.
Well, because it's more than a 6 for 5. You get the
that is actually
resupply.
I missed
1
to 2. And then 2 units which got changes. Apart from that, I won't be showing these. It's just a quick one. Field medic power change from 1 to 2. And then banner provision change from 5 to 4. And Blue Stripes Commando provision change from 6 to 5. And that is actually it for Northern Realms.
They buffed Commandos.
If I'm correct. Yep.
Wait, that's big.
Moving on
That's true.
to Scoia'tael now, and which is of course my favorite faction, and I have to remind everybody about that all the time. So
that adds a lot of points.
Harmony, I think, is the one we'll start with.
Interesting. That's gonna be exciting.
I'm happy about this one.
Oh, this is really cool change. I really like this one. So Call of the Harmony now changed to order spawn and play Dana. And Dana is a 6-power relic that has.
Oh, you get to play it.
Nice.
So she will not only trigger your harmonies,
Oh.
she's a harmony herself. And she has cool art, so that's why we decided.
Wait. 15 provs. Spawn and play. It's a relict. So. Interesting. Yeah, relict is a unique tag for 1. This immediately procs your Waters of Broccolon. This, like, sort of has the same real problem that the old Mystic Echo had. I guess you're not defending it with a defender. You're just insta-procking with Dana. Huh. It's not a double engine, but that wasn't really the thing. It was being able to play Waters and defend at the same turn. Play Waters, proc at the same turn. Yeah, it doesn't let you replay it, but instead you get some more provisions. Like, the provisions also make bleeding easier. Make it easier to not get your Waters bled when you have other provisions that you can play into the game. I don't know, definitely... Yeah, it definitely has to be worse than Old Echo. And Harmony sort of got power crept with the new expansion. Just a little bit. They gained... I guess they gained Oak Critters. Oak Critters is pretty sick. I don't know about way worse than the Old Echo. It's the other one.
Put her on the board.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be happy about that.
I agree. So that's the first one. As you can see, we rotated out Mystic Echo.
So no more double water.
Yes.
Some of the new stuff in the game supports Harmony, though.
Which
Stuff like Oak Critters is really big.
A good change in this case.
Yes, it's a good change. Maybe I will, usually we're going through leaders, but while we're on the Call of Harmony, it's worth to mention that we're reverting the Harmony nerf, so it will work how it used to work before on the whole board, not only one row.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure that with the Mystic Echo was the offender here, not the Harmony itself. So with Mystic Echo gone, we can actually revert the nerf to the Harmony.
Exactly.
And make all the Harmony players happy.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of change.
And you have
a lot of sense. Exactly.
It wasn't just about playing Waters in 2 rounds, though.
Then we have a new leader.
Like, this leader is...
we have Nature.
Sort of. Like, it's worse than Waters, but it's sort of a Waters.
Yes, so... A bit of support for Symbiosis.
6 base with Harmony and the unique tag.
Nature's Gift, as a leader, has Symbiosis. And order, given allied unit Vitality 2.
Give an allied unit Vitality 2, charge 3, Symbiosis on the leader. That's a cute way to put Arrakis Queen in Scoia'tael. They basically just, like, keyworded the Arrakis Queen ability. Does make Hamadryad playable? Makes Hamadryad come down as a 6. Over 2 turns, it's an 8, and you get the Symbiosis unit. I mean... It's only the worst card in the game because of the context. When cards get support, they become better. Like, people play Dwan Canal Guardian 5P, Bronze Symbiosis at 6. Yeah. Gotta push all 3 rounds or risk overswarming. No more than any other Symbiosis deck. Because the Symbiosis all piles together, right? It's not like you get a bunch of 1-point trance. If you're going to have a Symbiosis unit in play every round, there's no difference whether your leader is buffing them by 1. How many natures you play in round 3? It can be a lot. It can definitely be a lot. Because you have all the tutors, you usually play a Rebuke or 2. You often have your Tramp Protector left over. Yeah, you also want to play them later after you know what cards you've drawn all game. Tutors get better the longer the game goes. Can Oglis replace Sheldon Skaggs? Not really. Skaggs is a much better card. Doesn't play into tower removal quite as hard. Removal is definitely relevant. Plays for more base too. Sort of just everything about Skaggs is better. Unless you're going way too tall.
Charge 3.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I don't know if it's gonna be
as you can see, as I was mentioning, some
good enough, but it's cool.
Symbiosis here. Yeah, it's a great example. Symbiosis was lacking a bit of support. Let's say something was missing from it. Yeah, it wasn't super weak, but it was not there. And I hope this leader will help. Like, you have permanent Symbiosis there. Every time you play nature, you will get this strength.
Yeah, agreed. And then we have a provision change for Guerrilla Tactics, so provision bonus change from 15 to 16.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those are those when it comes to Scoia'tael. Now, Zoltan's Company is another card that we want to highlight. Let me just type this.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that Ethereal is going to see 0 play, but it's not like game defining, faction defining anymore.
Zoltan's Company, there we go.
It's much easier to deal with.
So we have a change here. Spawn 3 Rowdy Dwarves on the ally road. If you control Zoltan, give 1 armor to all dwarves on that row.
Correct. And it can be any Zoltan in the game. I think we have 3 of them.
I don't know if this is good enough.
You can see him here. You have Zoltan.
The only Zoltan that I would currently play in dwarves is Shive.
So, it's a Zoltan.
And honestly, even that one might be wrong in the deck.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I like this change.
It's very flavorful.
Yeah. So that's one, and the other is Riot Brigade.
Yes. So,
like, what it needs is more ways to make rowdies, not the cards that make rowdies to be better.
The target that we want the damage. It's not random ping anymore. So again, not a big buff, but a bit better because you can choose your target.
Isn't it 4 provisions like its brethren? Because 3 dwarves is worth a lot for the dwarf deck.
It's always better to pick than have a random one.
A lot of cards get value out of having a bunch of dwarfs.
That's not actually that one. Duen. There we go. Duen Canel Guardian. So yeah, for this one.
Yeah, same as Northern Realms units. Yes, 1 more power and order.
Wait, it got order in Scoia'tael too. They're just changing all of these?
The last one, last change when it comes to an ability change is...
it is better. It gives another proactive play.
That's correct.
But it's just weird that they're all changing.
They got 1 more point.
Ooh.
They
Volunteers was... already very good in the dwarf stack.
They are not row restricted, yeah. You just need to have a dwarf.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter where this dwarf is.
Exactly.
If you just control a dwarf,
oh, this is good with justice too, yeah.
Yeah, and I think makes it a little bit more versatile here.
For sure.
Yeah, this buff is big. This is bigger than the
things that I want to go through quickly.
The second biggest that we've seen so far. I think Commando might be a little more relevant, but
show it is changed to Aethna. That's the change that reflects to,
that's weird.
To the previous ones.
Why are we
a change of provision? Like you mentioned already, I think twice. So for the third time, we're changing the cards which evolve, of course. And Aethna is also another example. So a provision change from 11 to 12. And then super quickly, we have Doblathana Sentry, which has 1 armor additionally now. Dwarven Chariot, power change from 3 to 4. Doblathana Bomber, power change from 1 to 2. Dwarven Skirmisher, boost change from 1 to 2. And then Broccolon Sentinel, provision change from 5 to 4.
Skirmisher got better
and
too.
And that rounds off Scoia'tael.
Sentry, the one that boosts things that move or damages things that moves.
That went.
So what's now?
Well, the mighty empire of Nilfgaard is next. And your favorite one. And then I think we'll start with tactical decision ability change here.
So tactical decision is not playing cards anymore from your deck. Now it's pounce and play Morvran. And Morvran, actually, I need to check. Yes, this ability is more complicated. So
no idea how to evaluate this.
Let me open it. As I remember the rest, I cannot say this one.
For Morvran, it's deployed.
Yes.
Draw up to 3 cards, then put the same number of cards on top of your deck.
That's correct, and I have it on my screen right now. But you were faster.
Yeah. Morvran Proxy Simulate, sure.
It's still playing with 3 cards, but it in a bit different way, let's say.
Choose the order.
And this ability opens a lot of new possibilities.
It doesn't shuffle, just goes on top.
It would take too much time to speak about all of them, so again, players should
do not choose
find out
the cards you draw.
How to use them leader themselves.
I mean, you draw the top 3 cards, and then, you choose what order they go back.
Up to 3 cards mean. If you will have less space
how I would
in
expect
your
it to work.
He won't fully utilize the ability. If you will have 9 cards, he will draw only 1, and then you will put 1 card at the top of the deck. If you will have 8 cards in your hand, which means only space for 2 cards, he will draw 2. But if you have 7 or less, he will draw 3 cards, and you will then put 3 cards at the top of your deck.
Yeah, exactly.
And
choose any card.
Yeah, I don't remember to mention that.
Yeah, well, we didn't, but it's good that you mentioned that he's a human soldier token.
So it's like 3 mulligans that lets you stack your deck.
Other token. Speaking of abilities that got rotated out, so we rotated out strategic withdrawal leader ability, and I think that the change to
11 with a
tactical
fawn.
decision and
I mean,
strategic
sort of.
actually tie together super nicely.
You are paying the provisions for a fawn.
And then we have a new leader ability,
but,
which is imprisonment.
And some people can remember this ability, or maybe not exactly the same, but quite similar ability on the as a very old Radovitz ability. So order, lock an enemy unit, and damage it by 3. Charge 2.
Okay, whatever.
So it's pretty straightforward. I must say.
It's another metagame leader, I guess.
Loves to lock your stuff, so hey, we'll give you some more locks.
Yeah.
Maybe better than Imposter in some metas.
Here.
Actually, we were in the beginning considering not using charges, but locking 2 units at the same time, because, as we remember this ability from the past, it was super scary, yes. But,
2 times.
The game changed a lot, and when we played...
2 shackles.
It was not that scary at all, so we decided to go with charges, and I think it feels super fine right now.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I'm just saying that in case
withdraw though, because it plays 2 cards in a turn.
Most times they'll rather it. It's not the same thing anymore.
True.
You can believe me.
Agreed. Then we have a small tweak to
Never have a
Imperial
1 or 2
Formation.
card down
So
situation.
charges reduced from 4 to
What?
3, and provision bonus changed from 15 to 16.
Tactical
Right.
decision
The
still
leader was
in.
a bit,
That's a good question.
let's say, too much.
Agreed.
Dominating other leaders. Yes, it was played.
No, wait,
because of
decisions-
the raw value that he was providing.
Decision just changed the ability. It's just still called
Yes,
tactical decision.
Mm-hmm. Next
That's
up,
more
we have
brand.
Imperial Brigade. Power change from 3 to 4, and we actually have a change to its ability here.
Yes, Impera didn't have any restriction like other cards that were, summoning copies from the deck. So we had a simple one. If you control a soldier, summon all copies.
So you gotta have a soldier before you play the Vigo.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the sake of consistency with all the other summons.
Agreed.
And I forgot to mention that, but as probably many of you already noticed the pattern, we actually buffed a lot of bronze cards that summoning their own copies.
Yeah, agreed. That's actually true. It's good that you pointed that out.
Yes, because I totally forgot about it. So
Yeah. Next up, we have Nausicaa Brigade. So ability change to deploy, damage an enemy unit by 1. If the enemy unit is boosted,
It's
damage
not
it
damaged by 1 before.
3 instead.
yes, before it was just damaging the boosted enemy by 3. So in this case, like we did done with other similar abilities, if you won't find the boosted unit, you always have this 1 damage.
Exactly.
So there is always some kind of ability. Of course, it's weaker if condition is not met, but it's still there.
Imposter is 15 instead of 14 now.
Moving on.
I did notice that. I wasn't sure if that was
This
change or if
one,
Imposter was already 15.
Is battle preparation boosting bonus by 1.
Hey,
Imposter
loving
provision
Gandalf.
bonus change from
Thanks so much for
14
Prime.
to 15.
Welcome back.
Grafton's power change from 4 to 3.
Grafton's
Again,
gets
the
nerfed.
Tabriz
Okay.
provision change from 10 to 9. And then we have Vincent van Moorhem, power change from 5 to 3, and provision change from 11 to 10. Question is why we didn't want to nerf a little bit more Vincent.
Because actually, he's not that strong.
Yen
He's
reveal
more
shuffle
like
deck.
this
I'm pretty sure Yen reveal reveals a
card
random
that,
card. I don't think it reveals the top one.
make you, let's say, angry. It's not a really surprise card. If you play versus Nilfgaard, you can expect Vincent. He was a bit too strong, but he was not, like devastating the games. So we just brought him to the power level of other similar cards.
Mm-hmm.
And now with 310, he should be in the right place.
Still toxic, but now also weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's
Whatever.
So that's, Vincent
I don't
for
hate the
you.
change.
Then,
It's fine.
Change to Usurper, so the evolving card of Usurper. Yeah, similar to other evolving cards, provision change from 11 to 12. Then we have Fionn van Garnel, power change from 2 to 1. Art Fen and Light Cavalry, power change from 2 to 3. Hunting Pack, power change from 3 to 4.
it like occupies a more
And then
techie gold
added
slot
Siege
now rather
Engine
than like a
category
builder on the
to
gold
the
slot.
following cards. That's
At the
Hexal,
provision cost, the card makes
Rottasher,
sense.
Fire Scorpion, and Mangonel. And that's it.
That's quite a lot of changes for Nilfgaard, I need
I
to say.
missed the
Usually,
bronze
when
changes.
there is balance patch,
Hold on.
everybody got some changes. And
Scorpion and Mangonel. And that's it
Oh.
for. And then added Siege Engine category to the
Oh,
following
so-
cards. That's Hefty Helg, Rot Tosser, Fire Scorpion, and
I
Mangonel.
rewinded for that?
And that's it.
that's quite a lot of changes for Nilfgaard, I need to say. Usually, where there is balance patch, everybody got some changes, and Nilfgaard is like 2 cards. That's
Yeah.
it.
Basically a better
I think
layout.
this
Sort
time
of.
Nilfgaard got the most changes out of all the factions.
Yeah.
Something
agree.
surprising.
I agree. It got a lot.
I don't know, a lot of the
changes,
things-
especially,
you have to
super
work a
value.
little harder.
So, yeah, I'm also surprised.
You're able
with
to
that
work
collection. No
to make
fun
Vincent
normally
good, where
doesn't
Leo,
get
you're kind of
this
just
many
praying that your
changes
opponent
in
plays
one
into it.
go. All right, we are left with Syndicate as the last one. And we'll start with the leader ability. So we rotated out wild card leader ability from the game.
Oh, they nerfed Fionn to
And
1
in this-
power.
Yeah, in this
Oh, 'cause
place
they
we
buffed
have a new
tactical-
leader ability.
Buff battle
We have
prep.
Pirates,
So it's nice to work.
Oh.
That's funny.
which I already like. I already like the name. What's up with this
Yeah,
one?
so
What? Spawn a Sea Jackal on an allied row, then gain 4 coins. Why? I hate this.
So maybe first I will go with ability, and then I think everybody will understand why the name is the Pirate's Cove. Yes. So order spawn a sea jackal.
God damn
I
it.
draw
Whatever.
and then gain 4 coins. Provision bonus 15. So this one is kind of different, you can say, than
Yeah, it's a spender instead of a
other
generator.
syndicate leaders.
Cool.
Yes, usually they're giving you just money. In this case, you're getting a spender. You don't need to worry, about having too many coins and not having a way to spend them. So if you're using Pirate's Cove, you can play this.
There was a cooler leader they were working on.
Spend everything.
But I guess it didn't make it to
a
live.
Different approach, let's say, to the Syndicate leader.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's an interesting one.
Cool. Yeah, it's
Nah, I'm not leaking anything.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. We have Sacred Flame.
There was a cool leader. I'm sad.
So again, a bit more love for Firesworn. Deploy spawn a Firesworn Zealot on both sides of this card. Order boost all allied Firesworn units by 1.
Exactly. Nice.
More boosts for Firesworn.
What changed?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just 1 row anymore. But it doesn't... Okay, so it only boosts Firesworns now, but it boosts the whole board. That's cool, I guess. Still gets heavered. And you probably don't want to play this in a deck with Passiflora, so it's just the heaver target. The payoff's sort of there, though.
Nice. Then we have the Borsodi brothers. Well, I think we'll start with Ewald.
The 15 years in sewers, yeah.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
So we changed them because, of course, Ewald was dominating. We wanted them to be played as a package.
Ewald is seeing the least play now.
And, we changed
like
their
any
abilities,
time.
mostly Ewald.
Oh.
So Ewald now power changed from 4 to 5, provision from 8 to 7. He's dealing 2 damage. If Horst is in your graveyard, he's doing 4 damage instead.
This feels like just
And
not
Horst
the type
with
of thing
similar
Syndicate
treatment.
wants to do ever.
Sorry, no power, only provisions from 8 to 7. And ability change to gain 3 coins. If Ewald is in your graveyard, gain 6 coins instead. So I think with these changes, the brothers can see some play together again. Let's say as a package, not only sad Ewald alone, but his ability is actually not gone.
Exactly.
We moved it to our probably card with the favorite art in the whole Syndicate faction, so Horse on Friction.
Yeah.
Wait, my emote's relevant again.
Yes, you can open it.
I love this change. I'm all about it.
So why we changed it? Because Horse on Friction was not really played that much, and on the other side it was causing the, let's say, infinite loops in the arena with its ability.
Did they change Bloody Good Friends too, then?
To change it. And as Ewald was playing...
Okay, chat. Do you think they changed Bloody Good Friends? Or are they just saying they fixed the infinite loops in Arena? I would rather they just didn't acknowledge Arena.
I think this card will be played too, and I'm quite happy because I really love the art.
Yeah, agreed.
And it was such a shame that it was not used.
Is the problem.
So
you could go
Fufu,
infinite with Joanna and Horse and
change,
Freak
and
Show
then
or Bloody Good
Shock,
Friends.
Miraculous Child, the Aldersberg and Grandmaster provision change from 11 to
Peach,
12.
yeah,
so
doesn't
like
destroy your whole board.
remaining,
True,
cards.
kind of.
The Sausage Baker provision change from 10 to 9. Casino Bouncers fee change from 2 to 1. Sewer Raiders power change from 3 to 4. And Cleric of the Flaming Groves now has the Cleric category, which is
finally
important.
the game is playable. Yes, finally.
Cleric category.
This was making game unplayable.
Yeah. The question is that I have for you that we might get from the community is like,
because this ability is really
why
strong.
didn't we, for example, touch like Invigorate and other
like the heavily granular damage that you can like scale with the number of coins you have is a big deal. It's not like this is a bad card at this provision cost.
leader abilities? Why did we choose these?
Oh, we gained
Of
armor.
course, there is a matter of time. We wanted to change more, but there is not always time to do so. So, as I said in the beginning, we're planning to touch others in the future.
Melee.
And for some other things, we're planning some changes. Because we got, for example, question as a feedback why we changed Vicious Slash instead the Stockpile, for example. Yes, and our way of thinking. Because Slash is working right now, of course, but it's not supporting any archetype. Yeah, it's just a 8 damage ability that does not really support anything in Northern Realms. It can be ability like that can be put to any faction and it will be fine. Yes, and Stockpile, for example, we don't want it to change it into something else, and then after 2-3 months, for example, change it back.
2-3 months.
When
they have big plans for Stockpile in the next expansion confirmed.
Love and bigger changes, let's say. It's a bit of spoiler, but that's the reason, for example, because we know there is still Invigorate, there is still Stockpile, and people will be asking about them, and they will see some change in future. We still
big Invigorate buff
they
confirmed.
exist. We still know they are not performing well, and we are planning something.
Nice little spoiler there.
Yeah, we definitely didn't.
Because they don't want. They've said multiple times they don't want Discard to be an archetype, and the only reason the Sacrificial Vanguard makes sense as a leader is if Discard's an archetype.
Might expect with 7.2 that I wanted to quickly touch upon. One is
they're just being consistent with their design philosophy.
You will see this coming on Tuesday with the update. So we actually will have a new board coming to the game, and there's actually going to be a new trailer for it, which I'm super excited for. But like I said, details on Tuesday. I think some of you might think what it is, but I will not spoil it, but it's going to be amazing. And then we have the Air Pack and Bundle, which I wanted to highlight once again. This goes for the next open, so open number 4, so 30% of the proceeds.
You can make that argument, but
so
at least they're consistent.
That you do not want to miss because, like, I'm showing it right now. It looks amazing, and I'm excited for it. And yeah, that's it. Ostre we made. Oh, that's a nice shoop. Going straight to the camera.
My shoop is overtaking
the stream. Awesome. Ostre, thank you very much. We won't be taking more time because the finals are here. So good luck to the players. And Ostre, thank you for joining me, and hopefully see you soon.
Thank you very much for an invite, and good luck to the players.
Bye-bye.